Imagine this. At this very moment, you hold the power to transform your life's greatest challenges into your most profound victories. Social anxiety, that invisible weight that holds so many of us back, can be overcome. Today, we dive deep into the heart of human resilience, exploring 6 powerful ways to conquer social anxiety and reclaim your inner peace. But before we embark on this journey, I invite you to join our community of seekers and doers. If you're committed to personal growth and overcoming life's challenges, take a moment now to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. Your engagement fuels our mission to spread timeless wisdom and practical strategies for living a more courageous, authentic life. By subscribing, you're not just watching, you're actively participating in a collective journey towards greater understanding and inner strength. So pause for a moment, subscribe, and if you're ready to transform your social anxiety, give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us reach more people who need these powerful insights. Now, let's begin our exploration of overcoming social anxiety. Think about the last time you faced a social situation that made your heart race and your palms sweat. How did you respond? Were you a prisoner to your immediate reactions, or did you choose a response that reflected your deeper values and innate strength? This is where true wisdom shines, guiding us to respond to life's challenges with courage, rationality, and equanimity. The ancient philosophers, known for their practical approach to life, had much to say about overcoming our fears and anxieties. They believed that while we might not have control over the events that happen to us, we do have control over how we interpret and respond to these events. This wisdom teaches us to focus on what's within our control, encouraging a detachment from external circumstances and an anchoring in our own reason and choices. It's this timeless wisdom that can inspire us to pause, reflect, and choose a course of action that is reasoned and deliberate rather than impulsive and reactive. But why is this important? Well, think about how much of our stress, regret, and frustration comes from knee-jerk reactions to social situations. Now imagine if instead you could remain calm, centered, and thoughtful, even when the world around you is anything but. This isn't just about improving your peace of mind. It's about becoming a more effective, compassionate, and resilient person. These are qualities that can transform not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. In our exploration today, we'll delve into various strategies that draw from both modern psychology and ancient philosophy to help you develop this responsive mindset in the face of social anxiety. We'll look at how to cultivate mindfulness, the importance of identifying and expressing your emotions constructively, and how to keep the bigger picture in mind, a perspective that the wise have long excelled at. By the end of this discussion, you'll have a toolkit of strategies to help you pause, assess, and respond thoughtfully to whatever social challenges life throws your way. So let's embark on this journey together, learning to anchor ourselves in timeless wisdom and the power of our own minds to choose our responses, transforming our experiences and interactions for the better. 1. Embrace the present moment. Our journey begins with the foundational practice of embracing the present moment. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This profound insight lies at the heart of overcoming social anxiety. When we find ourselves in anxiety-inducing social situations, our minds often race to imagined future scenarios or painful past experiences. We become trapped in a whirlwind of what-ifs and if-onlys, losing touch with the reality of the present moment. But what if we could break free from this mental prison? What if we could anchor ourselves firmly in the here and now? This is where the practice of mindfulness comes into play. Mindfulness, at its core, is about cultivating a deep awareness of the present moment. It's about observing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment, allowing us to gain insights into their nature and influence. By practicing mindfulness, We align ourselves with the endeavor to live with awareness and intention, anchoring ourselves firmly in the now, the only time when we truly have the power to act. One practical way to cultivate this mindfulness is through focused attention exercises, such as breath meditation. By simply observing our breath, noticing each inhale and exhale, we develop the ability to maintain attention and return it to our point of focus when it wanders. This practice is not just about relaxation, it's a training ground for the mind, enhancing our ability to concentrate and remain present amid life's distractions and challenges, including social anxiety. When you find yourself in a socially anxious situation, take a moment to focus on your breath. Feel the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, and then leaving your body. This simple act can ground you in the present moment, creating a space between the anxiety-inducing stimulus and your response. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By anchoring ourselves in the present moment, we can observe our anxious thoughts without being consumed by them. Practice this mindfulness regularly, not just in moments of anxiety, but in your daily life. The more you strengthen this muscle of present moment awareness, the more readily you'll be able to access it when you need it most. 2. Reframe your perceptions. As we continue our journey to overcome social anxiety, we arrive at a crucial crossroad: the power of perception. Our perceptions shape our reality, and nowhere is this more evident than in our experience of social anxiety. The wise have long understood the profound impact our perceptions have on our lives. As Epictetus sagely observed, people are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. This insight opens up a world of possibility for those grappling with social anxiety. When we find ourselves in anxiety-inducing social situations, our minds often default to negative interpretations. We might assume others are judging us harshly, or that we're bound to embarrass ourselves. These perceptions, however, are often distortions rather than reflections of reality. The practice of reframing involves consciously choosing to view a situation from a different angle, one that reduces its emotional charge and reveals alternative ways to engage with it. This technique, deeply rooted in ancient wisdom, offers a powerful tool for maintaining equanimity in the face of social challenges. Consider this: the next time you're faced with a social situation that triggers your anxiety, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is there another way to look at this? Perhaps instead of seeing a social gathering as a threat, you could reframe it as an opportunity to practice your communication skills or to learn something new about others. This reframing isn't about denying your feelings or forcing positivity. It's about expanding your perspective to include more possibilities. As Seneca reminds us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By challenging our anxious thoughts and considering alternative viewpoints, we can often find that the situation is far less threatening than we initially perceived. Moreover, reframing can extend beyond individual situations to our overall view of social interactions. Instead of seeing social engagements as performances where we must prove our worth, we can reframe them as opportunities for genuine human connection. This shift in perspective can dramatically reduce the pressure we feel and allow us to engage more authentically. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all anxiety or to always see things positively. Rather, it's to develop the flexibility to consider multiple perspectives, thereby reducing the grip that any one perception has on us. As you practice reframing, be patient with yourself. Like any skill, it takes time to develop. Start with small situations and gradually work your way up to more challenging ones. Over time, you'll find that this ability to shift perspectives becomes more natural, giving you greater control over your emotional responses to social situations. 3. Focus on what you can control. As we navigate the complex landscape of social anxiety, we come to a fundamental principle that has guided the wise for centuries: the importance of focusing on what we can control. This principle is beautifully encapsulated in the words of Epictetus: "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." When faced with social situations, our anxious minds often fixate on elements beyond our control, others' thoughts, judgments, or reactions. We tie ourselves in knots trying to predict and manage these uncontrollable factors, draining our energy and amplifying our anxiety. But what if we shifted our focus? What if we directed our attention solely to what lies within our control? In social situations, we have control over our actions, our words, and our intentions. We can decide how we present ourselves, how we treat others, and the effort we put into our interactions. These are the areas where our energy is best invested. By letting go of trying to control others' perceptions or reactions, we free ourselves from an impossible task. This shift in focus can be incredibly liberating, reducing the pressure we feel in social situations. Consider this practical approach. Before entering a social situation, take a moment to identify what aspects are within your control. Perhaps it's your preparation, your attitude, or your willingness to engage in conversation. Focus your energy on these elements, letting go of the rest. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By concentrating on what you can control, you reclaim your power in social situations. This doesn't mean you'll never feel anxious, but it does mean that your anxiety no longer has complete control over you. You're no longer at the mercy of unpredictable external factors, but rather grounded in your own agency. As you practice this principle, you may find that your social interactions become more genuine and satisfying. Free from the burden of trying to control everything and everyone, you can engage more authentically, focusing on the actual connection rather than imagined outcomes. Moreover, this focus on what you can control extends beyond individual social situations. It becomes a guiding principle for how you approach life in general. By consistently directing your energy towards what you can influence, you build a sense of personal efficacy that can help counteract the helplessness often associated with social anxiety. 4. Practice self-compassion. As we continue our journey to overcome social anxiety, we arrive at a crucial waypoint: the practice of self-compassion. This principle, while not always explicitly stated in ancient texts, is deeply aligned with the virtues they held in high regard, particularly justice, including justice towards oneself. In our struggle with social anxiety, we often become our own harshest critics. We berate ourselves for feeling anxious, for not being normal, for every perceived social misstep. This self-criticism, far from motivating us to improve, often deepens our anxiety and erodes our self-esteem. But what if we could treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a dear friend facing similar struggles? This is the essence of self-compassion. As Seneca wisely noted, "If you would judge, understand." This applies not just to our judgment of others, but also to our judgment of ourselves. Understanding the nature of social anxiety, recognizing it as a common human experience rather than a personal flaw, is the first step towards self-compassion. Practicing self-compassion doesn't mean excusing ourselves from responsibility or avoiding growth. Rather, it creates a safe, supportive internal environment that fosters genuine development and change. When you find yourself in the grip of social anxiety, pause and acknowledge your feelings. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel this way, that many others have faced similar challenges. Speak to yourself with kindness as you would to a friend in distress. You might say something like, "This is a moment of suffering. Suffering is part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment." This self-compassionate approach can help soothe the anxiety and create space for a more balanced perspective. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius advised, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. While this is valuable advice in many contexts, when dealing with social anxiety, we often need to learn to be more tolerant with ourselves as well. Cultivating self-compassion is not a one-time act, but an ongoing practice. It involves consistently choosing to respond to our own struggles with kindness rather than criticism. Over time, this practice can significantly reduce the additional suffering we often layer on top of our anxiety. Moreover, self-compassion can actually enhance our social connections. When we're kinder to ourselves, we often find it easier to be kind and understanding towards others. This can lead to more genuine, satisfying social interactions, gradually reducing our overall social anxiety. As you continue on your journey, remember that setbacks are normal. There will be times when anxiety gets the better of you, when you struggle to implement the strategies we've discussed. In these moments, let self-compassion be your refuge. Acknowledge the difficulty, remind yourself of your shared humanity, and recommit to your path with kindness. 5. Cultivate courage through action. As we progress on our path to overcoming social anxiety, we come to a pivotal point: the cultivation of courage through action. This principle resonates deeply with the teachings of the ancients, who understood that virtue, including courage, is not merely a state of being, but a practice to be cultivated through deliberate action. Seneca, in his wisdom, remarked, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." This insight cuts to the heart of our struggle with social anxiety. Often, it's our avoidance of social situations, rather than the situations themselves, that perpetuates and intensifies our fears. But how do we break this cycle? How do we cultivate the courage to face what we fear? The answer lies in gradual, consistent action. The principle of gradual exposure is a powerful tool in overcoming social anxiety. It involves systematically facing anxiety-provoking situations, starting with less challenging ones, and progressively working up to more difficult scenarios. This approach aligns perfectly with the ancient understanding of character development. As Aristotle noted, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. By repeatedly facing our fears, even in small ways, we build the habit of courage. Begin by identifying a hierarchy of social situations, ranging from mildly anxiety-provoking to severely challenging. Perhaps making eye contact with a stranger is at the lower end, while giving a public speech is at the higher end. Start with the least anxiety-provoking situation on your list. Face it repeatedly until your anxiety begins to subside. Then, move on to the next level. As you progress, you'll likely find that your anxiety doesn't disappear completely, and that's okay. The goal is not to eliminate anxiety entirely, but to build the courage to act despite it. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Each time you face a fear, no matter how small, you're proving to yourself that you have this power. It's important to approach this process with patience and self-compassion. Progress may be slow, and there may be setbacks along the way. This is normal and expected. As Epictetus advised, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Celebrate each small victory, each time you push slightly beyond your comfort zone. These seemingly minor acts of courage accumulate over time, gradually expanding your capacity to engage in social situations with greater ease and confidence. Moreover, as you cultivate courage through action, you may find that your perception of social situations begins to shift. What once seemed overwhelmingly threatening may start to appear manageable, even potentially enjoyable. This process of gradually facing your fears is not about forcing yourself into uncomfortable situations. Rather, It's about mindfully and intentionally expanding your comfort zone, always balancing challenge with self-care. As you continue on this path, remember that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Every time you choose to act in the face of social anxiety, you're embodying true courage. 6. Reflect and learn. As we reach the final waypoint in our journey to overcome social anxiety, we arrive at a practice that ties everything together: reflection and learning. This principle, deeply valued by the ancients, serves as both the culmination of our efforts and the foundation for continued growth. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal reflections, wrote, "Every night before going to sleep, we must ask ourselves, what are the right things I did today? What are the wrong things I did today? What duty remains undone?" This practice of daily self-reflection is a powerful tool in our quest to overcome social anxiety. End each day with a period of self-reflection, a practice cherished by the wise throughout history. Review your social interactions, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. What went well? Where did you face challenges? How did you apply the principles we've discussed? This daily practice serves multiple purposes. First, it builds self-awareness, helping you recognize patterns in your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. This awareness is crucial for making intentional changes. Secondly, it allows you to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Did you make eye contact with a stranger? Speak up in a meeting? These are victories worth acknowledging. As Seneca advised, we should hunt out the helpful pieces of teaching and the spirited and noble-minded sayings which are capable of immediate practical application. Your reflections can be these helpful pieces, guiding your future actions. Thirdly, this practice helps you identify areas for improvement without judgment or self-criticism. Perhaps you noticed a particular situation that triggered intense anxiety. This observation becomes valuable information, helping you prepare better for similar situations in the future. As you reflect, consider keeping a journal. Writing down your thoughts and experiences can provide clarity and perspective. It also creates a record of your journey, allowing you to look back and see how far you've come. Remember, as Epictetus taught, progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. This daily reflection is that work, the consistent effort that leads to lasting change. Moreover, this practice of reflection and learning extends beyond individual experiences. It's about cultivating a growth mindset, seeing every social interaction, whether it went well or poorly, as an opportunity to learn and improve. As you continue this practice, you may find that your perspective on social anxiety shifts. Rather than seeing it as an insurmountable obstacle, you begin to view it as a challenge to be met, a part of yourself to be understood and worked with, rather than against. This shift in perspective aligns with the Stoic principle of amor fati, love of fate or love of one's lot in life. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." By reflecting on and learning from your experiences with social anxiety, you're not just managing symptoms, you're transforming your relationship with this aspect of yourself. You're developing a deeper understanding of your own mind and behaviors, and in doing so, cultivating wisdom. Remember, this journey of reflection and learning is ongoing. There is no final destination, no point at which you'll have solved social anxiety forever. Instead, it's a continual process of growth and refinement. As we conclude our exploration of these 6 powerful ways to overcome social anxiety, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've undertaken together. We began by learning to embrace the present moment, anchoring ourselves in the here and now to break free from the grip of anxious thoughts. We explored the power of reframing our perceptions, challenging the negative interpretations that often fuel our anxiety. We learned to focus on what we can control, directing our energy towards the aspects of social situations that are within our influence. We cultivated self-compassion, treating ourselves with the same kindness we would offer a dear friend. We built courage through gradual action, systematically facing our fears to expand our comfort zone. And finally, we embraced the practice of daily reflection and learning, turning every experience into an opportunity for growth. These principles, rooted in ancient wisdom yet aligned with modern understanding, offer a comprehensive approach to overcoming social anxiety. They provide not just techniques for managing symptoms, but a philosophy for living, one that fosters resilience, self-understanding, and growth. As you move forward from here, remember that overcoming social anxiety is not about eliminating fear entirely, but about developing the strength to act despite it. It's about cultivating a deeper, more resilient self, capable of engaging with the world more fully and authentically. In embracing these principles, we honor the wisdom of those who came before us, while forging our own path towards inner peace and social confidence. We recognize that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, every interaction a chance to practice our newfound strength. Let us move forward with courage, knowing that we have within us the power to transform our greatest fears into our most profound strengths. As Seneca wisely noted, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By applying these principles, we can bridge the gap between our anxious imaginations and the often less threatening reality. Remember, this journey is uniquely yours. You may find that some principles resonate more strongly than others, or that you need to adapt them to fit your individual circumstances. Trust in your own wisdom and experience as you apply these teachings. As we conclude, I invite you to continue this journey of growth. Explore more resources on cultivating inner strength and wisdom. Seek out supportive communities where you can share your experiences and learn from others on similar paths. Remember, the path to overcoming social anxiety is ongoing, but with each step, you grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of human resilience. May your journey forward be filled with courage, growth, and profound inner peace. As you face the social world, carry with you the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Go forth with confidence, knowing that you possess the tools and wisdom to navigate social situations with grace and authenticity. Your journey towards overcoming social anxiety is a testament to the human spirit's capacity for growth and transformation. Embrace it fully, learn from every experience, and remember, you are capable of far more than you may currently believe. May your path be illuminated by the wisdom of the ages, and may you find within yourself the strength to face every social challenge with courage, compassion, and clarity.